with amandascorner.com. Thanks so much for joining me today. I am a certified Pilates instructor, a Pilates studio owner, but I'm also a licensed physical therapist. So in my Pilates practice, I use my physical therapy background and knowledge to help design programs for individual clients, whether they're looking just to improve fitness or whether they've got an injury or they've had surgery and they've got something in particular that they really need to work on. So I have been using that knowledge and my practice on myself lately because I suffered a stress fracture in my right foot along the 5th metatarsal, so down this bone on the pinky toe side of my foot last fall, running. So I was going to share with you today a few things that I've been doing in my studio for myself. These are things that I also use for other clients as well when they need to work on ankle stabilization. So we'll be using a Wobble Board and also a Pilates foot corrector. So I'm going to take you through just a few basic things that are really, really helpful if you've had a stress fracture like me, if you've had an ankle sprain, if you're a chronic ankle sprainer, or you just want to build some stability around the ankle. These are great things to do, as well as improve proprioception and kinesthetic awareness. So let's get started. Okay, so here I am starting with my Wobble Board. If you're not familiar with a Wobble Board, it just has a little bit of a rounded disc, so it is an unstable surface on the bottom, and it's just a nice big flat surface on top, and mine has some traction on it. It's got some little bumps and grooves to help you stay put. However, if you have one of these and you're on kind of a slippery surface, I would recommend putting down a sticky mat. Okay. What I want you to do is to pretend like you're stepping onto the face of a clock. So you're going to come right into the center of the clock and you're going to do this in parallel, true parallel, so that the center of the foot here, your 2nd and 3rd metatarsals are going north and south. And then you want to lift up the other leg so that you're balanced. And if you're just beginning out with this, or especially if you've been injured, I would recommend holding on. So right now I am next to my half Cadillac and I can hold on to a pole of my tower, but you could have a wall nearby or do this in a door frame, just so you get the hang of it. And then as you progress, eventually you're trying to do all of this without holding on. You're going to be balanced. So this other foot's going to come up and you're going to start to accommodate to how this feels to be on this unstable surface. I don't really care where this foot is, if it's in front or behind, wherever you have your balance. You don't want to brace it against your other leg. That's cheating. So it has to be free. So standing on the face of your clock, you're going to try to touch down to 12 o'clock and 6 o'clock. So you're going from toe to heel. So we're doing plantar flexion and dorsiflexion. But you are only allowed to touch at 12 and 6. You don't want anything else coming down. You want very pure linear movement. So I'm not counting, but I usually have somebody do this about 10 times each way. And especially if somebody has been injured or if they have just a lot of weakness in the ankle, they may need a break after that. So they might come down and switch to the other side. Okay? If you're still feeling good, then you can stay on that first side and go into a second set where we're going to touch down from 3 o'clock to 9 o'clock. So we have inversion and eversion here. This is often really challenging for people. It looks like such a simple thing. And many people don't have enough range to actually touch all the way down, and that's fine. You just want to keep that pure 3 to 9 o'clock movement, even if it doesn't touch to the floor. You want to take care, and I have this zoomed in right now, but sometimes there's too much hip and pelvis action here. There's too much torso trying to force the foot over. We want this to come at the ankle. There'll be a little bit of movement through the body as you go back and forth, but you really want this to come down at the foot and down at the ankle. What I tend to see with people is it just is touching all kinds of areas on the clock, and you want to keep working at that to get to 3 to 9 o'clock. If you find that this is just far too challenging for somebody, there's a couple of options. You can either do this with 2 feet, and then you'll kind of have a bend to the knee as you go back and forth, so that's a good way, as well as to the 12 and 6 o'clock. Most people have a much easier time with this, but you can start with 2 feet, particularly if you're beginning to let go of your wall or your door frame and you're balancing. It's easier on both legs. So you can do this side to side with 2 feet. It's a little bit easier, a little bit less range. You can also do the seated. So you can sit down in a chair and then just work that foot so that you start to train those muscles and train that joint how to move in this fashion. So that's really helpful as well. So in the beginning, I like to do 12 to 6 o'clock, 3 to 9 o'clock, and then I like to have the person come back on in parallel, and you're just going to simply find a balance and hold it for as long as you can. So again, I don't care with this other leg, the lifted leg, if it's behind you or in front or up to the side, it may travel all over as you try to keep your balance. That's fine. That's because this little ankle and foot on your disc is working really hard, but you're not allowed to brace, because again, that's cheating. So I like to do that and work with that for a couple times a week, maybe 4 to 6 weeks, as it's starting to get easier and you feel like you can let go, or just you're having more range, you're having more comfort with it. Then some other things you can add in. You can come back on top, and then you're going to draw circles all around your clock. So you're going to go from 12 to 1, 2, 3, all the way around. You're trying to touch down every little surface smoothly. And this is not easy. So I have people do about 5 circles each direction. So you go 5 one way, and then you would reverse this. Again, it's something that looks so simple, but when you get on here and try it, it's not. Especially if you are used to being in shoes and you're used to being supported. When you take away that external support and start asking for the body to do this from the muscles, from the inside of the body, it can be really, really challenging. So those are some good tricks to work with. It's helped a lot with my clients, and it has helped a lot with me over the past few months. For a while I was doing it almost every day, and I noticed a huge difference. It got me out of my boot, and it got me so I could stand pain-free without a shoe on, so that is huge. All right, next I'm going to show you a few things that I've been using on the foot corrector. Okay, so here is my Pilates foot corrector. If you're not familiar with this, it's basically just a nice rectangle here, and it's got this plate, this curved rounded plate on top, and on either side it's got 2 small heavy springs. So when you push down, there's resistance, a good amount of resistance. And then over here, this is just a sticky pad for some friction. Likewise, with the Wobble Board, when you first start out with this, you might want to hold on to something. You might want to be near a wall or have a gondola pole or a walking stick. And we're going to do 3 different positions here. Again, I have it zoomed in so you can really see the foot corrector and my foot, but you want to take care that the body is not swaying. Of course, you want to have your neutral pelvic position. You want to be nice and tall through posture, and there's really common tendency for the whole body to get involved in this, and that makes this very easy. This little spring resistance here is not a lot if you're pushing your whole body into it. So staying really tall and making this work come just from your foot. You're going to start your first position with your heel down on your board, on your foot corrector, and then the ball of the foot and the toes are going to be parallel, just kind of gently curving around the top of the plate here. And with an exhalation, you're going to start to press the plate down against resistance. And with the inhale, you're going to slowly release. So my back foot here, my supporting leg, is in parallel. And again, you can't see my body, but it's very, very still. I have my stomach engaged, exhaling down and inhaling up. So as you do this, or as you watch somebody do this, one thing that you're looking for, besides that body being still, is that I'm pressing the plate down evenly across the entire foot. So if I'm somebody that tends to really pronate, then I may be pushing down harder with the big toe side of the foot. If I'm somebody with a high arch, somebody who really tends to supinate, I might be pressing down more with the pinky toe side of the foot. So you want to press down nice and evenly. You want to do these slow and controlled, and you want to try to aim for about 10 repetitions. So after you've done this first position, you're going to move the center of the foot, the ball of the foot, right on top of the plate and parallel. Toes are relaxed, and you're going to exhale and press straight down. So again, and I'm going to turn this so you can see, again, you are looking for that even, smooth movement. So back foot parallel, you're going to press straight down. So somebody may be pressing more on one side or the other, inside or outside, and then that can be really telling about how they place their weight and their walking gait and their running gait, etc. So you're trying to train that foot to press down nice and evenly. You also get a lot of just tactile stimulation to the arch of the foot here. So if you're someone that has plantar fasciitis, if you're someone with fallen arches, this will help build and support your arches. So really, really important. Okay, so that would be your second position. Your last position that you'll do is drop the toes and ball the foot down onto the foot corrector, and then you're going to press through the heel. So again, if you're somebody with plantar fasciitis, this could be tender, because that is right where you have the the origin of that thick band of connective tissue. So pressing through the heel might be a little tender. And you want to press nice and evenly. Oftentimes this heel, being able to press down through your heel, is easier for people. They might get more range, but not always. So it's really telling to watch how the foot moves through these three positions and how the body stands, but it's also very, very, very telling when you compare one side to the other. So if you've got one side that maybe you have somebody who is a chronic ankle sprainer, well, if you watch their movement patterns from side to side, it can be really telling about what you need to do to fix that problem and to give them that stability and that proprioceptive and kinesthetic awareness that they're missing. Okay, so those are a few tricks that I have been using. Here, I'm going to come down. Maybe you can see my face. I'll come all the way down. So those are a few tricks that I've been using in my studio and on my feet. They're wonderful. They're not hard to do, and they certainly don't take a lot of time. I took a little bit of time explaining it, but I can pop into the studio and do it in a couple of minutes. And it's really helped. It's helped a lot. So if you have any questions, if you have a foot injury, or if you just want to build more stability and strength through the feet and through the ankles, through the arches, then try these out. If you have any questions, you can email me at amandascorner@charter.net. Thanks. Bye.